Live from Utah's #1 news channel, this is KUTV 2 News This Morning.
The Salt Lake School District comes under fire from the community for keeping some decisions private. Hear how district officials are reacting to those claims.
Now she's home sleeping and I'm working.
Donald Trump is hitting Hillary Clinton hard ahead of tonight's third and final presidential debate. But President Obama takes aim at Trump, suggesting he can't handle the pressure.
42 degrees right now in Salt Lake, and temperatures across the Wasatch Front are on the chilly side this morning. We had a few showers early. Those have cleared out, and we expect mostly clear skies for the day today. A look at the satellite and radar shows you what we have out there, and we expect to have increasing sunshine throughout the afternoon. St. George, 55 degrees right now, north winds 3 miles per hour, and St. George area is going to be beautiful, not too hot, obviously not too chilly, 78 degrees for the afternoon high, and tonight 47. Ron?
Well, a heads up for you if you are a Davis County commuter commuting to the south. We have this crash here at the north interchange. You see the refineries there in the background. It has blocked the right lane. Well, let's go north of there with our commuter link camera, and you can see the traffic is slowing down because of that lane that is blocked there. It probably goes back maybe a mile or two, so you're going to be bottlenecking through there. So you might want to leave a little bit early if you commute in that direction. All right, breaking news. The story we've been following this morning is that horrible fiery crash in Tooele County. This is on I-80. It is by that 196 junction west of Grantsville. 2 people were killed, 2 semis crashed, and it has shut down the freeway in both directions there.
Yeah, one of those vehicles had some military equipment involved, so big, heavy equipment tumbled into the opposite direction lanes, and just a horrible crash. And then the FedEx truck caught fire.
Yeah, and that FedEx truck hit that military equipment. The FedEx truck was full of cargo. Jeremy Harris is live from the scene. He joins us now. And Jeremy, we're getting a look at the video for the very first time now.
Yeah, that's right. And it's an intense scene out here, Holly. As you can see behind me, a massive amount of emergency vehicles that are out here. We do have I-80 shut down both directions, and I don't think that's going to change for quite some time. But we were able to go up to the scene earlier. We sent back some video of that, and you'll be able to see just how intense this crash was. Now, as you've all said, there was a FedEx truck that was heading down the highway. At some point, it was involved in a collision on I-80 near the SR 196 junction with another vehicle that was hauling some military equipment. Not exactly sure what that was, but it seemed like a big military truck that had come off of the trailer. That's what impacted with the FedEx truck as well. So we do know 2 people were killed in this. We're told 1 person was killed in the FedEx truck, 1 person killed in the military truck that was driving. 1 person also from the FedEx truck was taken to the hospital with injuries. We're not sure how serious, but we are told that that person was up talking with troopers. And just looking at that video, you can imagine what a horrific crash that was. Now, we do have a map of where this is playing out. We are about 10 miles, is my estimate, from the west of Grantsville. This is right at I-80 and SR 196. Now, there's not a whole lot of traffic out here at that time of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, mostly semis, mostly commercial traffic. But now as we're getting into the 6:30 hour, there's a lot of people coming and going from Wendover, so these traffic backups are significant, and they're already going for multiple miles in each direction. We had to come through a lot, and we've been here for about an hour, so I can only imagine how it's stacking up. And the problem out here is there's really no alternative route around this. It's not like there's a lot of back roads that you can take that would get you around this. So most of the people, from what we can tell, have just basically sat on the freeway. They've shut their cars off. They're staying there right now until the highway patrol gets this back open. But their obstacle here is that truck. We're told it was on fire about a half an hour ago. The firefighters were still working to get all the smoldering parts of it out. It was full of mail. You can imagine lots of fuel. So at this point, their priority, get that fire out, then get the wreckers down there and get those trucks out of there. They may be able to open 1 lane, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So this is going to be a major impact through the rest of the morning. We'll keep you updated. Back to you.
So is that wreckage strewn across both directions?
It is. What my understanding and from what we can tell in the accident is the FedEx truck is headed westbound. The military truck was headed eastbound, as best we can tell. It looks like one of those cars came off of the military truck trailer went into the opposite lane of travel. That's when it was hit by the FedEx truck. It would have been pitch black out here and very tough for that driver to see the car in the middle of the highway.
Yeah. And Jeremy, the UDOT traffic app reporting you can take State Route 196, State Route 36 as alternate routes. Is that a possibility there?
Those are possibilities, but the thing is those are, at least SR 196 is not really an east to west road. So if you're already on the highway at Grantsville, there's really no option to get off the highway. I think you'd have to go down and almost around, almost all the way through Tooele County to get around that. So perhaps an alternative route. We'll work with UHP to find out any alternatives, but for right now, I would just say avoid it coming out here if you have any plans to go out to Wendover or something.
Yeah, that is a horrible scene there. Jeremy, thanks. We'll get back with you a little bit later for an update.
Well, it's 6:34 now. Political news, big day. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are just hours away now from their last face-to-face showdown before the election. The face-off in Las Vegas is their final chance to push their arguments on the debate stage. Reed Binion reports now on how they're preparing these final hours.
Tomorrow night's going to be interesting. Now she's home sleeping and I'm working.
Donald Trump taking a shot at Hillary Clinton ahead of Wednesday's third and final presidential debate.
It's the way it's going to be in the White House, too. She'd be sleeping, I'd be working.
The debate topics will include immigration, the economy, the Supreme Court, and fitness to be president. That last one will likely spark talk of controversies roiling both campaigns, including Hillary Clinton's email and Donald Trump's insistence that the election is being rigged. President Obama, on the day of his final state dinner Tuesday, had harsh words for Trump ahead of Wednesday's debate.
I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes. If whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job.
The nominees also engaging in some psychological combat with their invitations. Clinton inviting Meg Whitman, a former Republican California gubernatorial candidate now endorsing Clinton, and also billionaire Mark Cuban, an outspoken critic of Trump. Trump inviting Obama's Kenyan-born half-brother, as well as the mother of a Benghazi victim who has accused Clinton of murdering her son. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
6:35 right now, and today there are less than 3 weeks until Election Day. 36 states are now asking the federal government for help with cybersecurity for voting systems. 20 states have reported attempted hacks surrounding state election systems. The Department of Homeland Security says it can take up to 2 weeks from the time they receive authorization to run the scans and identify vulnerabilities. It can then take at least an additional week for state and local election officials to deal with those vulnerabilities.
Utah politician John Huntsman Jr. just might be eyeing a 2018 Senate run. According to UtahPolicy.com, there is chatter that the former Utah governor plans to move from Washington, D.C. to Utah to start his campaign. Sources tell the website that he will likely run as an independent candidate instead of Republican.
In world news overnight, a police van in the Philippines rammed through a crowd of left-wing protesters at an anti-U.S. rally outside the U.S. Embassy in Manila. Protest leaders say at least 3 student activists were run over by that police van and taken to the hospital. Police arrested more than 20 people who had hurled red paint at a U.S. government seal at the entry to the embassy. Protesters are demanding an end to the presence of U.S. troops in their country, and they're backing the call for an independent foreign policy by the Filipino president.
Right now, there is a mass exodus of civilians as Iraqi and U.S. military are working to take back the ISIS-held city of Mosul. The United Nations is anticipating upwards of 1 million people could be displaced. Right now, local government agencies only have enough supplies to house 400,000 people. There is construction underway to create schools for children of refugees who will otherwise miss years of school. The United Nations Refugee Agency is asking for $121 million to help those displaced.
Almost 6:38 this morning. There are more problems for Flint, Michigan. The American Civil Liberties Union of Michigan is suing local school authorities and the state. ACLU officials say children directly affected by Flint's water crisis are not getting the help they need at school. Students in Flint don't get standard development testing, and they don't get eye or ear screenings, which violates federal education laws. The ACLU says up to 30,000 children in Flint have been affected by the city's lead-tainted water. The Jordan School District is making a final push for a new school bond issue. Voters rejected a nearly $500 million bond in the last election. Well, this time the bond is half that, and the situation is do or die.
Harriman's over capacity already. It was built for 2,650 students. We're at 2,800 plus here right now. There's nowhere to put 2,000 more students, and we don't want 100 kids in each class.
Harriman High is only 7 years old, but bursting at the seams. The downsized proposal asks for $245 million, which would build 6 new schools and a rebuild of West Jordan Middle School.
6:38 right now. Today, the NAACP and other community members are calling for an audit of the Salt Lake City School District. This after concerns that school leaders, including the school board president, make decisions in private, bypassing public discussion and vote from the entire school board. State Senator Luz Escamilla says after hearing complaints from parents, she called for a legislative audit. Salt Lake School Board President Heather Bennett said in an email that she feels confident the Salt Lake District and board have acted with transparency.
8 women who worked for the Iron County School District filed a lawsuit against a man they say sexually assaulted them. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, 41-year-old Samuel Naim El Halta taught at Cedar Middle School and was the women's supervisor. Well, those women say El Halta made inappropriate comments that got worse over time. They also claim he touched them inappropriately. Well, when the women reported it to administrators at the time, they say those administrators laughed it off. Well, the harassment allegedly started back in 2007, ended in 2014 when El Halta was fired after police say they found pornography on his work computer.
A former Utah State football player is behind bars this morning and faces rape charges. 22-year-old Tori Green is charged with 4 counts of rape, aggravated kidnapping, and forcible sex abuse. Green's charges date back to 2013. Prosecutors began reviewing and re-reviewing sex assault allegations against Green after the alleged victims went public with their stories this last summer. Green was arrested in his home state of California earlier this month.
Unified Police needs your help to break up a fraud ring. Investigators say 4 women are trying to purchase prepaid credit cards with stolen credit cards or fraudulent funds. They're accused of targeting Walmart stores in Ogden, Riverdale, Syracuse, Midvale, and Orem. Police believe the suspects are from the Michigan area and are traveling around the country. If you have any information about who these women might be, pictured right here, call Unified Police.
6:41 now.
Yes, it is.
Yep, I just wanted you to know that.
Okay.
And you too.
And up next, we are helping you get in wicked good shape with exercises. We'll get you into the Halloween spirit at the same time.
And at 7, we're counting the Halloween theme with ideas for your costume makeup.
And what does your UEA weekend look like? We are going to go over the next several days. That thing is getting a little bit close. You want to look at Halloween makeup. All right. And we'll talk car wash forecast coming up next.
And no need to adjust your TV. We're taking you back to the 70s with Sister Act and Hale Center Theater.